Trevs Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, regular season's come and gone. I'm totally aware of this. Everybody's focused on the playoffs. As a matter of fact, Oilers and Kings are on right now as I'm recording. But anyway, before I lost all momentum on this topic, I at least wanted to get it recorded. Talking about the Bruins. And more so, I don't want to talk about how much egg I have on my face for picking them to finish 6th in the division, completely missing the playoffs. For them to turn around and have the season they had, I want to talk more about the historical part of it. It was record-breaking in all kinds of different facets, more than just wins and points, many different other areas. So let's talk about it. So they started off this season with an 8-1-0 record in October, which included a 3-game win streak to start the season, and also includes a perfect 6-0 record at home. Now, after suffering their only loss of the month, they entered November with a 7-game win streak intact. They finished November with an 11-2-0 record, which includes a perfect 7-0 record at home, which at this point has us at 13 straight home wins, which by now is the record. We talked all about it. You can follow the link above you. And after having that 7-game streak snapped, they went on another 7-game win streak. So they're really picking up the streaks. They ended December with a 9-1-4 record, which they also entered on a 3-game win streak, as that 7-game win streak, the second one we were talking about, was snapped before the end of the month, and they were coming into December riding back-to-back wins. Unfortunately for December, they didn't really pick up on the streaks, as the only thing closest to the streak, or any kind of streak in December, would be when they finally hit their 50th point of the season in a 4-2 win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then, of course, there's the Winter Classic. I mean, what better feeling is there than beating Pittsburgh the day after New Year's Day? I mean, yeah, it was only a 2-1 score, but, beating Pittsburgh in front of 39,243 people is never a bad thing at all. What was impressive about this Winter Classic was, including this win, this kickstarted another 4-game win streak. So just after a quick loss to your Seattle Kraken, they went on a 6-game win streak after that, before hitting what would be their only real quote-unquote losing streak of note the next 3 games. Now, the beauty of this quote-unquote losing streak was 2 of these losses came in overtime, so there was still a point to be had. The Bruins would finish February with a 9-1-0 record, which included a perfect 7-0 record on the road. So heading into the All-Star break, they had 83 points, at this point, well ahead of anyone else, and definitely first in the Atlantic Division. That is without question at this point. Of course, there's always coming out of the All-Star break, and most teams typically tend to not do so well. So after Boston lost that first game coming out of the All-Star break, Boston did what Boston does and went on to win its next 10 games, taking this 10-game win streak into March. It's also worth noting, before we head into March, that on February 25th, Linus Ullmark would become the 13th goalie to be credited with a goal after he scored against the Vancouver Canucks. So there's your league leader in goals amongst goaltenders for the 22-23 season. So for Game 9 of this 10-game win streak, this would see the Bruins get to their 100th point in their 61st game, becoming the fastest team to 100 points, which broke the record previously held by the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens. I don't think I need to explain the Bruins-Canadiens rivalry at this point. March 11th would see the Bruins record their 50th win in their 64th game, becoming the fastest team to 50 wins in a season, breaking the mark set by the 2018-19 Tampa Bay Lightning and the 1995-96 Detroit Red Wings. We'll be talking about those two teams a bit in this video. Now, Boston would ride another 7-game win streak in the month of March, clinching the Atlantic Division in the process, their third Atlantic Division title overall and their 27th division title in team history, and would end up winning their fourth President's Trophy 5 days after clinching the Atlantic Division. We made a video on it. Just follow that link above you. Which brings us to the month of April, where the Bruins would close out the season a perfect 7-0 and ride an 8-game win streak to close out the season. They'd become the fourth team in NHL history to record 60 wins when they beat St. Louis on April the 2nd. April 8th, which is their 79th game of the season, the Bruins would tie the record of 62 wins against New Jersey, the record, of course, being held by the 2018 Lightning and the 1996 Detroit Red Wings. This was against the New Jersey Devils. And they would break the record and make it 63 the following game against the Philadelphia Flyers. They would also set the new mark of team points in a season when they broke the record held by the 1976-77 Canadiens of 131 by recording 133 points on April 11th, game number 81, against the Washington Capitals, before setting the mark of not just 135 points, but also 65 wins when they made that mark against the Montreal Canadiens to end the season. Now that's just their schedule. Let's talk about what I think was their lucky break as far as that is concerned. Well, I mean, first and foremost, when you have Pasternak scoring in buckets, that'll always help. He was only 3 goals behind the goal leader, so it could have went his way either way. But they definitely knew how to capitalize on playing streaky hockey. If you look at their schedule, every game they won compared to every game they lost how many games compared to how much they won, and every win usually came in the midst of some form of a winning streak. 7, 8, 9, 10 games. They've covered all the streaks. So they knew how to ride the momentum with that. On top of that, when your defense and your goaltending help the team keep the puck out of the net by only allowing 177 goals against, that should speak to the stinginess of it, really. I mean, as far as the goalies are concerned, your starter had 40 wins, your backup had 20. That's never happened in NHL history before, till now. And having the goalies get involved in the scoring doesn't hurt either. It just goes to show scoring can come from every facet of every position on the ice, including the net. But the Bruins are definitely playing on a win-now mentality, and it's worked well for them, well enough to get themselves in the record books for a number of different reasons. Picking up guys like Tyler Bertuzzi and Dmitry Orlov at the trade deadline doesn't hurt either. If anything, that just makes your team better. Even if Bertuzzi's on a rental basis, and I hope for Bertuzzi's sake he signs or is able to sign long-term in Boston, which I guess comes to the next point. Rumor is a lot of the free agents, the pending ones and the unrestricted ones, signed for less, just to make sure that there was a winning culture, a winning environment. If winning or if paying less means winning more, that's never a bad thing at all. And just like any other team, they had to deal with an injury bug. The thing I noticed with the Bruins, though, is when they had the injury bug, they always had a player to fill the space. And it's also Jim Montgomery's first head coaching job back since he was the head coach in the Dallas Stars. I think we've covered it a long time ago. So it might also be a case of, he's filling big shoes left by Cassidy when Cassidy went to Vegas. But also, maybe he's got a point to prove. Not so much to Dallas, but to the fact that he can coach a winning team. Even if it's just regular season success. 65 wins in a season is nothing to sneeze at. I'm sorry. But his name's attached to that now. So, if you want to look at it from Bruins in history, also keep in mind, this is their 99th season as an NHL franchise. I mean, it would have been pretty awesome if they were doing all this in their 100th season, which is next season. But at the same token, I mean, what a better thing to do than go into your 100th season saying, hey, this is what we did last season, and this is why we're in the record books for it, and da-da-da-da-da. All in all, though, an impressive season by the Bruins. I'm not going to lie. Am I bitter they're making me eat crow? I don't even look at it as eating crow. I call it as, my predictions are never really that good to begin with. So for me to pick them sixth, it's part of the course. For it to be taught a lesson to this degree and to this manner, oh yeah, I'll take the lesson. Lesson well learned. And the biggest question now is how long can this record stand? The wins record, the points record, they both stood for 46 years. I mean, the wins record was tied twice and never broken until now. And when it became obvious that Boston was going to potentially threaten the record, I thought it was going to be the case of, well, they'll stop at 62, go in, maybe go into the playoffs a little rested, see if they can't maybe go a little further based on that. Nope. Went straight for the win. So after everything was all said and done, 82 games into this season, the Bruins finished it with a 65-12-5 record, 305 goals for, and 177 goals against, with a goal differential of 128 for 135 points. I don't know how long this record is going to last. I think it's going to be a long, long time, unless they do some more schedule maneuvering and magic, which they very well might. I mean, who knows till we're playing 100-game schedules. But until that time, enjoy this record while it lasts. That's all I'm saying. Let me know your thoughts on the Boston Bruins' all kind of historic season. Another one of Trevs hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this point. I really hope you do enjoy what I'm doing. But if you have made it to this point, if you're still here, give me a thumbs up. I think I've earned it. That red button that says subscribe all over it, come on, you know you want to hit it. It'll make you feel good. And we're going for 250. So let's add that to it. That social I never use. It's in the description down below. So move forward. Tomorrow's another day. Got another video for you tomorrow. I might have two for you tomorrow. Because I know there's two I gotta, at least one I gotta do because it's an annual thing, and two makes it's another reaction to a video I made earlier. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.